Welcome to your easy workout win backup plan that is supportive for all phases throughout your cycle. This is a workout that I developed in my own practice to use on the days where maybe what I had planned didn't really feel like something I wanted to do in the moment. So it's good to use after a night of disrupted sleep, or maybe work runs longer than expected. Maybe you have a child who's sick at home and you need something quick that isn't going to demand a high cognitive lift. So this one is very simple. We're stripping away a lot of the complexity. We're working with just a single set of dumbbells. So we kind of eliminate a lot of the fuss that might kind of contribute to more of that cognitive load with more complex workouts. So for today, we're using 6 fundamental movement patterns. We're alternating between upper and lower body movement. So it'll help stimulate circulation. It'll promote that healthy blood flow, which can help energize you, especially if you're feeling a little bit on the low energy side. We're using a rep scheme of just 12 reps. So depending on the weight selection, that should be enough to keep you in the sweet spot for whichever phase you're in. And I'll provide a little bit more guidance on that in the description of this video below. But in general, if you're in the menstrual phase, you're staying around that 50% mark. That might mean you're using very light weights and you're moving more slowly. When you're in the follicular phase, you're picking up heavier weights, you're maybe moving a little bit quicker, and you're anywhere from 70 to 85%. The ovulatory phase, you can push a little bit further, 85 to 95% with that occasional max effort. So you're more in that mode of kind of heavy breathing, gasping for air. You're in those higher intensity thresholds. Luteal phase, we drop it back down where we're kind of between that initial intensity marker and the high intensity threshold. So you're kind of right in that sweet spot, 50 to 70%. Now, if you are in the first half of your cycle, it doesn't mean you have to push those higher intensity thresholds. Chances are, if you are turning to this easy workout win, this backup plan, maybe you're already a little on the low energy side. So I would encourage you to keep that steady state effort, that slow and easy pace throughout, so that you are showing up, you are moving your body, keeping your muscles awake and online, but you're not tipping into overexertion. A lot of the intensity will be dictated by the weight selection that you have. So lighter weights, you can move slow, focus on mind-muscle connection. Heavier weights, you're able to turn up that intensity. Part of what makes this an easy workout win is there's not a heavy cognitive load. So it's very simple. We're stripping away a lot of the complexity, keeping you in the same 6 movement patterns from the warm-up to the workout to the cool down. So we'll alternate again between upper and lower body patterns to stimulate blood flow and circulation. It can help you sort of unlock your natural energy levels on a day when you might be needing it most. So again, this one has that warm-up built in, has the cool down built in. The whole practice comes in right at 30 minutes. It's that sweet spot that hopefully you can squeeze into even your busiest days. So now let's get started. Let's jump right into our workout for today. We're going to start with a very quick warm-up. We're working through each exercise for about a minute. We're going to move through body weight versions of the weighted exercise that will make up the workout. So I'll get our timer started here. Our first movement pattern is a simple squat. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, all 10 toes facing forward. Give a big shoulder roll. Take a huge breath in and a slow breath out. So I want you to keep your spine upright, keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. We'll move in just about 5 seconds here. Here's 3, 2, and 1. So we'll squat it down and lift it up. So this is your easy workout win, your backup plan. So you're not forcing anything. You're just showing up, moving your body, and getting what you can from this workout. This is the one where we're stripping away all the complexity. We're coming back to kind of that fundamental strength. So we're starting with the squat. Connect to the rhythm of your breath. We've got longer warming intervals here than what you've been used to in your warm-ups and cool downs. So we're here for a full minute. Really want you to connect to this movement pattern. Feel how you sit back into the heels, how you lift through the chest, and start paying attention to your breath and your pace, so that depending on which phase of the cycle you're in, you can find that sweet spot and stay there for the duration. If you're using this easy workout when chances are you're not looking for high exertion, let's switch to our row. So come halfway down, pull the elbows back and reach. Pull them back and reach. So aim for keeping it somewhere between 50 and 70%. If you're in the luteal phase, you might start there if you're in the follicular and ovulatory phase, but then as you start to sort of unlock that energy, you might turn up the intensity just a little bit. Really want you to feel the shoulder blades press onto the back here. Take the elbows back at a slight angle. So it's not the narrow grip, but we're getting a little bit more space across the chest by taking the elbows out to the side. Tone the belly here. So we're drawing the navel in. And breathe as always. Breath is boss. 10 more seconds here. And then we'll come into a hip hinge. So we'll add some movement to this hinge pattern. Last one, bring your hands behind your head. Let's fold it halfway. Keep pressing your head into your hands. I want you to feel the forward motion in your feet. So you're spreading the toes nice and wide, shifting to the ball mounds of the feet, but then anchoring through the inner and outer heels. Keep the back of the neck long. See if you can lower the spine together and lift the spine together. You can move as slow or as quick as feels good. Find, especially if you are reaching for an easy workout win, sometimes moving slower, connecting to each part of the movement can be as soothing for your mind as it is for your body. So find the pace, the rhythm that works well for you. We'll be here for just about 10 more seconds, then we'll come into a kneeling position. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come to your kneeling position, reach those arms overhead and hug the elbows to your sides. Reach it up, elbows to the sides. So we're just warming the shoulders here. I want you to lift the hip points toward the low ribs. Soften the shoulders away from the ears as you bring the arms overhead. Tone the back as you hug those elbows in. Connecting to your breath, feeling that little bit of warmth. Hopefully you're already starting to be happy about your decision to show up for your practice. Even if you're taking what feels like an easy workout win, once you get there, sometimes that's the hardest part, and then you can put in the work. After this one, we will be coming down onto the back for our glute bridge. So get ready to make that transition. And then in our workout, we'll be moving through all of these same movement patterns with your chosen weight. Come onto your back, parallel the feet, hug the heels close to the sitting bones, arms by your sides, lift and lower. Keep the legs shoulder width apart, so nice and narrow. Hug the inner thighs, the inner knees at the top. Keep the back nice, the neck nice and long, so you don't have any strain happening there. And again, as you come up, you're scooping the tailbone under slightly and keeping the front ribs drawing in and down. Squeeze the glutes together. We have 1 more minute, 1 more exercise after this. We'll just be in our push-up pattern, which will kind of mirror the chest press in our weighted practice. Really want you to drive through the heels in that glute bridge. And again, take the arch out of the back so you have just that natural curve in the lower spine. And let's get ready to switch. So you can just roll over onto hands and knees. I like to take push-ups with the knees down. You can always keep on the toes if you wish. Take it down and up. As you come into your push-up position, want the hands slightly wider than shoulder width and take your elbows slightly back behind you and down the back. So you have kind of an A-frame shape happening with the upper arm bones rather than a T. So the elbows are coming slightly back as opposed to out to the sides from the shoulder. We're here for just under 30 seconds, and then we'll have a quick transition to start our weighted practice. It's an every minute on the minute structure, so we're completing our 12 reps of each exercise as quickly and as efficiently as possible within the 1 minute time frame. And then the rest of that minute we have for recovery. So super simple. Let's get ready to transition. Slowly walk it up, and you can grab your weight. So we're coming into our front squat. That's our first movement pattern. 12 reps as quickly and efficiently as possible within that minute. And then you have what's left to rest and recover. We'll move in just about 10 seconds. You can bring your weight to that front rack position, wrap the elbows in so arms are parallel. Feet are shoulder width apart, toes are facing forward. You keep track of your reps. Here we go. Let's begin. Take it down. So it's the same as our warm-up. You're moving as quickly as possible, but don't let that create a sense of urgency. I want you to get these reps done nice and steady. Just 12 reps. We're in kind of that sweet spot for all of the phases. Depending on the weight selection, you can always add or take away 2 to 3 reps depending on which phase you're in. Last 2 for me. Keep track of your reps. And 1. Got about 20 seconds to recover here. And then we're coming into our bent row. So 12 reps of the bent row once again. And that you're taking the elbows slightly wider than the shoulders, but keeping the chest nice and expansive. Come into your hinge position. And let's begin. So again, I want you to keep the lower back neutral. Pull the front ribs in. Tone the low belly to protect the lower back. So this doesn't have to be your full hinge. It can be just enough to get you that range of motion. And don't sell yourself short. Make sure you're extending the arms all the way straight at the bottom. And breathe. Last one for me. And you can set the weights down when you're ready. We've got just over 20 seconds for recovery here. You're slowing down the breath. So if you're in your menstrual phase, you're hovering right around 50% using very light weights. If you're in your luteal phase, let's get ready for our Romanian deadlift. You're closer to 50 to 70. Follicular and ovulatory, you're between 70 all the way up to your max effort. Let's come down halfway and lift it up. Feet are shoulder width again. Spine is straight and strong. Back of the neck, neutral. Again, your knees have a generous bend in them here. We're not locking the knees out because that allows us, when we have that bend, it allows us to tap into the meaty part of the hamstring and the glutes. You can take this slow and steady if you wish. Should be plenty of time to get your 12 reps in. Last 2. And 1. Shake it out. We're coming into our kneeling shoulder press next. You've got about 10 seconds. This one, if you're using kind of slightly heavier weight for those first 3 exercises, you can switch to single-sided work here. Let's begin. We press it up. Take the elbows down to shoulder height. I want you to draw those front ribs in. Pull it down. So different than our warm-up, we're letting the elbows stop at shoulder height. We're keeping that press. If the weight is too much, you have a couple of options. You're either moving to single-sided as follows, or maybe you're coming into that narrow position here. Lots of ways to work with the weight that you have available so you don't have to fuss with switching things out. Last 2. And last 1. Finish out your set wherever you are. We've got about 15 seconds, and then we'll come into our weighted glute bridge. So same setup as the warm-up. You can take one or both weights into the hip creases. We'll move in 5. So your hands just supporting the weight, not taking any of the load. Here we go. Lift it up, squeeze the glutes, and come down. Again, I want you to maintain that nice neutral lower spine, so you're not overarching the back or puffing the hip points up, but instead it's a slight scoop of the tail under. Lift and lower. We've got our 12 reps here. And then we'll stay on the back. Our next exercise is the chest press, and that'll close out the first round. Last 2 and 1. You can set those weights down to the side, take a posture break if you need it. We've got about 15 seconds for our chest press. So lots of options for how you set this up. You can have the feet down close to the body. You can have a reverse tabletop to incorporate some core. Weight comes straight away from the chest, palms are facing out. Let's lower down and squeeze. So we want you to feel the chest stretch and contract. This one, you might benefit from slowing it down a little bit so that you can feel more of that time under tension. Take the elbows nice and wide, straight out to the sides. Again, you're here for 12 reps, and then we're coming back up for that front squat. So 12 reps is right in the sweet spot where we are maybe a little high for muscle development, but still in the right range. And we are just on the threshold of endurance. So it's a great rep range that you can kind of use throughout the cycle, depending on the weights that you've chosen. Last one. And slowly come up. Might have got a couple extra reps there. Right into the front squat. Here we go. Let's push it down and up. Get your 12 reps. This is the top of round 2. Keep that spine straight and strong. I also love kind of switching, alternating between upper and lower body. Super beneficial for your circulation, which can help you throughout the cycle. So we're asking the heart to pump blood to the upper and lower extremities in this alternating fashion, so it can support better metabolic function, can support better fat burning, where your body's becoming more efficient at circulating those nutrients, that oxygenated blood. Last 2 and 1. Bent row is next. In just 5 seconds, roll the shoulders out. Let's come into position. Get your 12 reps. Here we go. Pull the elbows back. Shoulders stay relaxed. Extend all the way at the bottom. Keep the chest nice and open. Really press the shoulder blades onto the back. Listen for the sound of your breath. Pay attention to the signals from your body. Notice the different intensity thresholds, what they feel like, what they sound like, so that you know how to modify your practice in the moment to stay in that sweet spot. So if you start getting to that breathless point, I'm getting close, then you know you're more in those high intensity thresholds. So follicular and ovulatory. I'm in my luteal phase, so wanting to slow it down just a bit. Romanian deadlift is next. Let's get 12 reps, come down and squeeze it up. I want you to slowly lower and then find just a little bit of power in that hip extension. Take a moment just to listen to the sound of your breath. I'll give you more opportunities to check in, try to create more pause between the instruction so that you can really tune in to what's happening in your body. Last one for me. And you've got just over 10 seconds on the clock. We'll come to that kneeling shoulder press next. Roll the shoulders out, grab your weight. Again, you have lots of options here to get your 12 reps, either both arms together or working single-sided. Keep your gaze steady out in front of you so that you're not lifting or lowering the chin. Nice and neutral there. Feel the shoulders working, the back working. We're heading to the back next. So as you're ready, you'll lower down. For your glute bridge, again, one or both weights, or you can ditch the weight altogether. Again, this is your easy win workout, so whatever you need to stay connected, to stay focused, that's what I want you to take, even if it means dropping the weight. We've got just a few more seconds here. Let's get ready. Hug the heels nice and close and lift the hips, lower down. So you will notice pretty quickly if your feet are in the wrong position, either with discomfort in the lower back, maybe your feet are too far, or discomfort in the knees. That might mean your feet are too close. So don't be afraid to adjust that position. Don't feel like you have to fix that placement of the feet. You can always adjust until you feel like you're connecting to the glutes without any strain in the knees or the lower back. I've got 4 more here. Really squeeze the inner thighs, the outer glutes at the top. And 1. Again, set your weights off to the side. Take a little posture break if you need it. Coming into our chest press in 5. Again, you have options for your foot placement here. Let's begin. And with this weight selection, you probably want to slow things down. So maybe take 3 seconds to lower and then squeeze to the top so that you can really activate the chest with more time under tension. Breathe in as you come down, huge breath, and then exhale with some force. That'll help you draw the low belly down and in. And that's 12 for me. When you're done, start to make your way up for your front squat. We're coming into our third and final round. So we've got about 10 seconds left. You can reach for that weight, bring it to the shoulders, wrap the elbows in. Let's move into 1. Here we go. 12 reps. Step it back, sit it back, and lift up. Keep the chest upright. Lower spine is neutral. No strain there. Just the solid mechanics of your squat. So again, we're keeping just the fundamental movement patterns for today, not wanting to add too much complexity. We don't want it to feel like a heavy cognitive lift. We want you to be able to just show up, be present, and put in the work. That's what we're looking for in our backup plan. When maybe life gets in the way, you don't have a lot of time to prepare, you don't want to fuss with a lot of weights. This is a great one just to keep the muscle memory alive, keep your muscles awake and online. We're coming into our bent row next in 5. Catch your breath. And let's begin. Hinge and pull. Again, keep the shoulders away from the ears so that you don't walk away with tension in the neck. We want to keep this activation in the back. So just below the shoulder blades here. And we do that by pressing the shoulder blades like 2 palms on the upper back. Extend your arms all the way down at the bottom. I've got 3 more. Where are you? Finish it strong. 2 and 1. 20 seconds to recover here. Roll out the shoulders. So I'm kind of right in that sweet spot for the luteal phase, between 50 and 70%. For me, that's around 120, 130 for the heart rate. And we'll come into our Romanian deadlift next. Here we go. Take it down and up. If you don't have a heart rate monitor, that's totally okay. You can just pay attention to the different thresholds in your breath. So the first threshold is when your breath starts to change. That's still low to moderate intensity, nothing too high. but your breathing has to change to support the effort. That keeps you in about the 50% range. Anything over that is when your breath has to change. Then when you start to approach that breathless place, that's when you're hitting your higher intensities, 75, 80, 85%. Last 2 and 1. So you can become your own signal reader. You can listen for those different thresholds in your body and either push a little harder or back off depending on what phase you're in. Shoulder presses next. Let's get 12 reps. Here we go. Push it up, draw it down. I want you to really feel the back come alive here, the upper back and the shoulders. Elbows come down to shoulder height and then squeeze to the top. We are in the home stretch here. Hopefully you just continue to feel more joyful, more proud, more excited that you showed up today. Solid yet simple strength work can really be like a moving meditation where you can drop in to that focus and concentration. Last one. So that you walk away with maybe a little bit clearer headspace, maybe unlocking a bit of energy. Glute bridge is next. Let's get ready and press it up. Here we go. Squeeze and lower. Lift and lower. Really hug the inner thighs, inner knees to the midline. Keep your toes facing forward. You have parallel tracks with the feet. Let's finish this last round strong, quality reps all the way till the end. I want you even to imagine sort of dragging your heels energetically toward your sitting bones. That will help activate the hamstrings. Last one for me. And set those weights down. Chest press to close it out. We'll move in about 15 seconds, and then we'll have a nice quick cool down to send you on your way. We've got 10 seconds. Come into position for your chest press. Again, your feet can be down, or you can be in that reverse tabletop. If you are in that tabletop, knees are over the hips. Try not to bring them too close. Here we go. Nice and easy. Down and up. Use your breath. Neutralize the curve in the lower spine where you're not smashing the lower back into the floor, but you have enough tone in the low belly to keep that curvature neutral. Feel the stretch across the chest as you come down, and then squeeze together like you're trying to press those dumbbells together at the top. Breathe in and out. Last 2 for me here. And last one. Finish out your set wherever you are. You can set your weights off to the side when you are complete, and then slowly make your way back up to standing. We've got about 5 more seconds on the clock, and then a quick 30 seconds to transition into our cooling mode. So you might take a few shoulder rolls forward and back. If you're still finishing up your 12 reps, you're taking it nice and easy from that supine position up to standing. Maybe enjoy some big hip circles here. We're just kind of taking the breath back down to a baseline. Should be pretty low after the glute bridge and the chest press. Those aren't kind of the super high energy demand exercises. We're coming into low squat rocks first. So I want you to lower down as far as you can go. Don't worry if your heels pop up. And then we're just going to kind of play in that deep squat position, rocking side to side. You might kind of bend and straighten the legs, just kind of explore more space in the hips. But I want you to feel a little bit of a buoyancy in the pelvic floor. So you've got this hug of the heels to the midline so that you're not dropping into the joints, into the hip joints, but you're integrated and strong. You can even start to take the knee all the way down, internal rotation paired with external rotation. You might even be, for the last 20 seconds, in more of the windshield wiper shape here. You can alternate between that seated position and then coming back into your deep squat. And again, if your heels lift, you're on your toes, that's okay. You're opening up space in the calves. We're coming into our forward bend. So I want you to parallel the feet. Deep, generous bend in the knees. I want you to lift the spine halfway. Feel that stretch in the spine, back of the neck is long. And then bend the knees as deeply as you need to bring heart, belly, chest toward the thighs. Hands come towards the earth. Let your head hang heavy. And then you can just start to work with straightening one leg and then the other. Maybe twisting an arm open as you straighten that leg and then rotating. So we're just in this forward bend pattern for a full minute here. Roll the feet forward and back. Keep softening into that forward bend, working the legs a little bit straighter with every breath. Then we're going to be coming into a thread the needle, so get ready to move to tabletop next. In about 5 seconds here, you can start to make your way there. Shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees. Let's inhale, reach the left arm skyward and wrap it under. Rest your left ear, left temple on the mat. Spider your right fingertips to rotate the heart open. Keep the hip creases lifting up and back. Feel that nice deep stretch in the upper back. We'll be on this side about 5 more seconds, and then we'll switch for the remainder of this minute. Slowly return to center. This time reach your right arm skyward and wrap it under. Twist the upper back here while keeping the hips nice and even, nice and square. So you want lots of length in the spine here, and then you're wrapping into that space. After this, we're going to twist all the way onto one side. So get ready to come onto, let's say, your right side first. Slowly make your way there. Bend your knees, reach both arms out in front of you. So you have the knees hugging in towards the chest. And I want you to open your left arm all the way out. Send your gaze over your left shoulder. Let the knees stay nice and heavy. So this is one of my favorite cool down stretches here. Gives a little bit of a rinse for the spine, but also energetically it's very neutralizing. So twisting tends to kind of balance whatever energy arises in the body. So if you're feeling very activated, it can kind of soothe and ground. If you're feeling a bit heavy or lethargic, it can kind of be more of that activation to balance. We'll get ready to switch in just a few more moments here. Really breathe into the twist. So try to inflate the low belly and draw it back in. And we'll start to roll now to your left side. Both arms reach to the left, knees hug into the chest. And then we'll open that right arm out to the side, gaze over your right shoulder. Maybe the left hand anchors the right knee down. So again, you feel that rinsing twist through the spine, soften through the face, the shoulders. See if you can really let the body become very heavy. Letting go of any residual sensation that might be lingering so that we can send that signal of safety and security so that the body knows it's time to recover, it's okay to recover. We can relax that vigilance that might come up during kind of the intensity of your strength practice. We're here just a few more breaths, a few more moments. Then you'll slowly start to hug your knees into your chest, round into a little ball. And then nice and easy in your own way, I want you to come up to a seat first, lift up through the spine, take a breath there, and then slowly transition through your forward bend. Maybe wiggle the hips, stretch the spine, come into your hinge shape, hands on the knees, and then slowly roll up all the way to standing. Let's enjoy a huge breath in together. Reach, inhale, and exhale, sigh it out. I want to celebrate you for showing up. I know that if you were reaching for the easy win backup workout, that maybe it was that challenging, that moment of choice where you wanted to make movement a priority, but maybe other things got in the way, but you did it. You crushed that workout. You showed up for yourself and your cycle. I want to thank you for being here, for joining me, and for letting your body be moved.